And welcome on the show.
Thank you very much.
I hope we will still have time to talk. Okay.
Yes,
So
surely.
this is actually your last stop on quite an extensive tour. You're going back to London.
I'm going to eat is the next thing I'm going to do. I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I'm going to get reindeer tonight.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
I can tell
I had
you.
to order it in advance.
Oh, are you a fan of good cooking?
Yeah. I like Scandinavian cooking a lot. I like a lot of the pickled dishes very much. And you're very partial to game up here, you know.
That's
I
right.
like pheasant and
we have a lot of
hams.
game in the woods,
It's
you know,
terrific.
in the forests.
I'm quite a meat eater.
So did you have a good time on the tour?
You know, it's peculiar doing promotional work, because that's basically what we're doing for the album hours. We've only kind of been able to do one show a week, approximately. As much as I want to take time off and write and do the other things that I like doing, I want to get some painting done, some sculpting. It's kind of frustrating that it's been going so well. The shows have been so fabulous. I kind of regret that we only
So
did.
you feel like playing more?
Yeah,
doing more live gigs.
I think it shouldn't be long.
No?
I don't know. I just got to get this writing done. You know, I haven't written to my aunt in months.
So what
No, I mean other kind of writing.
What will she say when you finally
Well, I'm
write
going
to
to write her a book and then see what she thinks of it.
Okay. Will it be an autobiography?
No. I've not got time for that.
Will we ever see an autobiography from you?
Not from me.
No.
No.
A lot of books have been written about you.
63.
Is that enough? Yeah. Any good ones?
63
Any
books.
good ones?
I'm sure there's some good ones there.
Ever read one?
Yeah, I've read a lot of them.
Yeah?
40.
Okay.
No, I think that I want to stay in the world of fiction. Certain ideas I want to get down. Also, I'm writing a couple of musical ideas.
Okay.
Theatrical pieces.
But that's what you've done through the years. You've created characters, faces, different shapes and figures.
Well, yeah.
So what do you see when you look upon yourself in the mirror?
I mean, I personally think that the characterization stage was much earlier. I think majority of the 70s was about characterization. And I guess I've got that luggage that will always travel with me. But to be quite honest, since the 80s, I've virtually done everything as much as I can do as for myself. Yeah, but you kind of drag that with you. Everybody's always going to refer back to Ziggy Stardust or Thin White Duke or whatever different characters they prefer.
How do you feel about those characters today?
Well, they were useful devices for me because I wasn't very keen on being a performer. I wasn't terribly comfortable as a performer. And they allowed me, that artifice allowed me somewhere to go. It located me in a place that I felt comfortable, which is behind another character. But I gradually
sort of a shelter from...
Yeah, because I mean my original intention was to write songs for other people. When I was a teenager, what I really wanted to do was kind of write musical type things and songs for other people. And because nobody was doing my songs, so I had to do them myself. And you know, so it was a dirty job, but somebody had to do it.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would seem that some of your characterizations were very carefully planned. Were they actually, or did they just pop up?
Well, the early ones.
Yeah.
I think the more successful ones really developed very quickly. I mean, the Ziggy Stardust thing really came within a very short period of time. I enjoy the process. I like creating a landscape and then putting people in it. You know. It is good fun.
When you return back to London to write the letter to your aunt and stuff like that, how do you like to lead a normal life? I mean, what's your everyday life like?
Like yours, probably. You know, it's
what do you know about my life?
Well, no, maybe you may have the extreme life of the two of us. You know, I'm an old married man. You know.
So, you know, you like to paint, you like to sculpture. That's the way.
I still spend a lot of time. When I'm not on stage, I still spend an awful lot of time working. For me, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like the engine that drives me. I continually writing music, or these days a lot of prose. I do some journalistic work these days. I do a lot of interviews for a magazine that I have in Britain, which is an arts magazine. I enjoy that work very much. It's a good chance to talk with people that I admire and find out what the process is that they utilize to get what it is that they do, and I find that very stimulating.
Do you still find time for friends and family and stuff like that?
More so than I ever have done. I'm quite disciplined about keeping relationships steady, and really I'm quite good at keeping in touch with people these days.
Yeah.
Not when I was young, but much better now.
A lot of people would imagine that you only have friends among other stars and legends of the world.
It's not like that at all, you know. I know, ironically, I know very, very few of my contemporaries and musicians very well. I've met nearly everybody, but I don't know them. My friends tend to be other writers, I mean, prose writers, painters, some musicians, but generally the musicians that I work with, not so much, you know, people in other bands and whatever. I'm not particularly drawn to that kind of industry thing at all. You know, I like to be in parts of the world I like living in. For me, places like downtown New York, Soho, and that kind of area. Fairly bohemian, I guess.
Yeah, but you've got a few homes. Does anything feel
I don't.
like,
I have one house.
You have one house?
Yeah,
that's your home. Okay, so you don't travel around a lot? You know,
I travel around a lot, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So where do
we
you
go
like
to
to
Indonesia, I guess, is where we kind of make a beeline for. I still find it one of the great curiosities in the world. I don't understand it, and that's why I'm drawn to it.
Yeah.
It's not easy to understand. I like that.
It leads me to the thought that through all these years you must have been through quite a lot of interesting happenings. What is the most bizarre thing that ever occurred to you? Difficult question, I know.
I'm just thinking, you know, I think probably the most extraordinary and a really taste of what the 20th century is was coming back from our wedding into the riots in Los Angeles in '92. That was quite the most extraordinary episode, coming from the tranquility of somewhere like Florence in Italy to complete and absolute social unrest within a 12-hour period, and not really realizing that we were stepping back into that. That was, I'll never forget that. Those few days were, quite extraordinary. And standing on the roof of our building and watching the smoke coming from all over the city, it was really quite a very strange thing. You know, somebody gave me a book today called Century, and it's a book of photographs from the last 100 years, 1899 to 1999. And it really, I was looking through it before I came here today, and it just struck me how incredibly villainous and murderous this century was. It's really, one hopes that there are few glimmers of hope that you see throughout the book can be magnified for where we're going now into the next century.
Do you feel that there is any hope for the next century?
Well, I personally have to feel it because I have family, and I want my family, obviously, to be safe and to live a joyful and fulfilled life. So you have to think in a positive way.
Yeah.
But it's not, it leaves one a bit despondent looking at the last 100 years in a way. And obviously with today's news about Chechnya, and it's...
Don't we all have the hopes? Let's hope they will be fulfilled.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. David Bowie, a pleasure to have you here. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. David Bowie!